Hey guys, JD here from Alpha Wolf Consulting. All right, so coming to you with lesson 4 today, and it's just around lead generation funnels. So these can basically have a couple of variations in terms of how we generate lead interest, and how we get them to essentially trade their details or their information for our lead magnet. So a lead magnet can be a couple different things. Generally, it'll be, a workshop, maybe a webinar, maybe, a course, booklet, guide, something like that. Just something easy that adds value to your consumer, but also demonstrates your expertise and authority in the space. All right, so let's have a look at it. So here's one of my lead generation funnels. And you can see that what we're doing is we're trading a workshop for their details. Okay, now this could be anything from, maybe we've got a webinar where we've got, a summit meeting or something like that, or maybe we've got a very niched out program, or maybe we're teaching them how to generate income online or generate leads, or we're teaching them a specific skill. Or maybe even we've just got like a marketing, like how to do digital marketing booklet or reference guide. So many different ways. Generally, lead magnets will be informatic products. So it's about information based, because information is generally free for us to create. There may be some time, effort, and design in the creation, but essentially it's pretty much free. Whereas if we were offering a free product, then we would have to cover the cost. So a couple different ways you can do it is a lot of people will generally do a book, and they'll have either a hard copy book or they'll have a digital version of that book, and you can either choose. The hard copy, you pay postage and shipping, and the digital copy generally is emailed across to you. So essentially what we want to do is we want to have in the lead generation funnel, we want to have all the focus on, we will give you this if you give me your details. And that's quite important, because what we want to do is we want to either have people self-identifying into our sales process or requesting something from us in exchange for their details. So for example, let's say we were selling property or something like that, or listing property. Our lead magnet could either be, tips and tricks on how to get a higher value on your listing, or it can be tips and tricks on marketing your property to get the best value, or it could even be, if you would like a free appraisal, and we come out and appraise your property and just give you some tips and tricks. So there's a couple different ways you can do it, but essentially this is how a lead or how traffic becomes a lead in the start of our sales funnel. Okay, so if we think of like a marketing funnel and a sales funnel, at the top, you got the content for the marketing funnel, then you've got the advertisement, and then you've got the link that they click or the action that they take, the button or what have you. Okay, then we got the sales funnel. And at the top, we've got the lead magnet. The lead magnet draws them in, and then the next funnel takes over, brings them down, and brings them down again. So think of it as this is where any lead or any potential lead is going to go to. And the whole goal of this is to take them from being an unknown, social media user or an unknown web traffic, and to bring them into the known by getting their details. Now, things to remember, especially when you're looking at optimization, the more actions we take in contra or in relation to the more details we want from them, the less likely people are to do it. So for example, there's I think it's about a 25 to 50% drop from just asking for the email address to asking for the email address and phone number. So, 25 to 50% of people are less likely to put in their phone number, but the ones that do put in their phone number are expecting a call or are expecting a text. So, do we want to capture a lot of data on the front end and have a highly, qualified buying process? Or do we want to have a loose one where we're asking for name, email address, and that's it? You're on our radar as a lead. Other ways you can do it is you can do like surveys and things like that. There's many different ways. And it's really good because if you do go down the survey route, what we're able to do is we're able to ask our qualifying questions, but we're also able to position and tag people. So we're able to collect more data and get an understanding of where that client is at or where that buyer is at in relation to when they click through. Now we have a detailed understanding of that buyer. Alternatively, we can qualify a bit less at the front and just get some basic information and then have our second step be the qualifying process. So, do we want to increase the volume of leads that we get, or do we want to increase the quality of the leads that we get? So think about this when you're creating it, is we want to create a pretty amazing lead magnet so that either we can get a lot of people to fill this out, or we can highly target people to fill this out. So even if it's, for example, even if we're giving a high value lead magnet to the client, okay, even if we do have multiple different like pieces of data or articles of data that we require from them, what we have to understand is that even though we're going to see a massive drop in the number that move through, we're going to have higher quality and more engaged buyers that do move through. But when building an email list, which mine is designed for, it's just a simple, something easy for them to do, because chucking in an email address to receive a course ain't nothing stressful. It's quite easy. We've got the name, first, last name, email address. It's quite easy, but that'll give us enough information to be able to then put them onto a marketing campaign that looks to expand, one, the relationship, but then two, expand the data collected on them. So, what we can do is have them fall into a marketing campaign where they get, once a month, once every 3 months, they get a survey to fill out, in return for something of value. So this is very, very exciting stuff, because essentially this is how, for any new business, we start the process of acquiring customers. We start building out that lead list. Another thing to remember is this is just where we drive the traffic from all of our marketing. Okay, so we go out, we do these ads, we run ads, we do content, we do direct messaging, Google ads, what have you. And this is where we drive them, because our whole goal is to get the personal details out of them so that we can contact them again and again at a later date. A beautiful thing about these types of funnels, the first stage of the lead generation funnel, is even with an average lead magnet, generally we'll be able to convert around 20 to 30% of buyers. Now, when we get into optimizing and getting a really, really sexy lead magnet going, and we're getting something that's, highly valuable and highly desirable, then we can push it up. And the goal is to get it to like 80 to 90%. Because if we could have 80 to 90% of the people that we push to this page, to this funnel stage, give us their details and become a lead, what we're able to do is, in a short period of time of between 30 to 90 days, we can build quite a robust lead list or email list that we can then use to springboard into the next offer. So what we're able to do is, even if they click through and they move through to our second funnel and they do nothing, we've still got their details. So what we're able to do is we're able to then create offers. We're able to send them offers via email marketing. We're able to, send information to increase the, increase their education and understanding of the value of the product. So many cool things can be done, and this is the start, because once we've got that data from the lead and they've become a lead, or from the client, and they become a lead now we can contact them whenever we want. Okay. So it's highly valuable, and whatever the cost is in time, energy, or money that you have to get a lead across to here, the higher this converts, the lower your lead costs. And then the more optimized we become in terms of our sales funnels, and then our supporting our supporting actions and things like that of our sales process, our call process, our email marketing campaign, our marketing campaign, and all of that. What we're able to do is we're able to then decrease the cost per lead, or the cost per client, or cost per customer, and increase our effectiveness. Because if we're running marketing campaigns and our lead magnet, or our first stage of the funnel, is not set up, or is not even converting at a decent amount, okay, what will happen is we're wasting money, because we might drive 1,000 to 10,000, people to this the sales funnel every month. But if we're only converting at 1 to 5%, we're basically getting, under 100 customers a day, or under 100 customers a month. So what that does is that just drives up prices. And then if the cost of advertising increases, it'll decrease the profit of the sale. So by increasing our conversion rate, what we're able to do is increase the profit of the sale and decrease the cost, because we're on average converting more people, but we're not driving more people to the website. Okay, so that's a very important thing to remember. And just remember, when we're setting up these sales funnels, okay, when we started the lead magnet is the springboard to then the meeting offer. Okay, and then the meeting offer is a springboard to the sales offer, or the product offer, or whatever it may be. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to position the information in our lead magnet to correlate to the product that we're going to sell them in 2 stages, because we're preparing them. So a lot of information that we're going to go through, a lot of what we do will be in preparation for the sale. And what this does is this allows us to start conditioning our buyer. Okay, and what do I mean by conditioning our buyer? Just getting them used to specific terminologies, getting them used to specific market or environmental situations, or whatever you want to call it. Like, basically, we want to prepare them if it's, for example, if it's in the property market and the property prices are going up at an exponential rate, and property prices for new land is going up about $10,000 every month, okay, which it generally does depending on the area and the location. What we'll see is we're able to prepare the lead in the lead magnet to say, hey, if you are interested in purchasing your first home, or getting a house and land package done up, one thing to consider is the longer we delay, the more expensive it becomes, or the further out we have to purchase. Okay, so that's a key thing, because we're able to start setting expectations that, hey, if you want to take action on this and you are serious about this, we got to get it moving quick, or we got to expect to either live further out of the city, or we got to expect to pay a higher price. So that way we're not getting to the end of the sale where we're asking for the sale and then having to overcome these objections of, well, why is it gone up so much? Well, why can't I purchase where I wanted to purchase? Why can't I purchase at the price I wanted to purchase at? This, that, and the other. So by setting the expectations, we lower the drop-off rate, but we also increase the buyer's engagement and the onus on the buyer to take action. For example, taking that same scenario of buying house and land packages, we understand that the onus is on the buyer. If they want to live in a highly desirable location, we have to find land inside their budget in a short period of time. Okay, so we're able to start preparing, and depending on how complex the sales process is, if you're just selling, for example, t-shirts online, doesn't really matter. If we're selling more complex products that have longer sales cycles, it's vital and very important, because the more conditioned our client is, the smoother the sales process will be, because we don't have to overcome all these objections week after week, day after day, because they trust us. They trust us to know what we're talking about what we're doing, and then they trust us that we've got their best interests in their mind. Okay, whereas if we don't set expectations, we're constantly on the back foot, having to react to them losing their mind in terms of becoming over emotional, becoming stressed, becoming overwhelmed. Okay, because this is a serious thing in your longer sales cycles and your more complex sales. Okay, like for example, if we're buying $100 million yacht, it's going to be a very, very complex sales cycle if we're not prepared and structured. If we're just going with the flow and doing this, that, and the other, and we're not paying attention, it's going to be an emotional roller coaster for that buyer, because anything could happen. Stock could run out, this, that, and the other. Colors mightn't be the same. They mightn't be able to get the exact same code of paint. Who knows? But basically, how it goes is the less informed our buyers are, the more volatile they will be. The more informed our buyers are, the more certain they will be in their decision and in their decision to do business with us. Okay, so it's quite important, because this sort of sets up the sale. And if we think in those terms, where our whole goal is to use sales funnels to set ourselves up for when we ask for the order, that the client has the expectation that, yes, the whole purpose of this process is to, resolve this problem or purchase this product or what have you. And what we're doing is we're able to, direct the conversation and keep it moving down the line and keep a lot of value to that customer, because we're not wasting their time. We're not screwing around, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for something to go wrong. We're proactively saying, this is the path to follow, and these are the milestones we want to hit, and these are the timeframes we're looking to hit them in on average. All right. So if you do a bit on your sales funnels and you're looking at doing your lead magnet, think in terms of, we don't want to overwhelm in terms of information. We want to have a little bit of information on the lead magnet in terms of, we'll have a video that has detailed information in it. We'll have some supporting information that gets the buyer interested. Okay, but we don't want to have like a paragraph or two of information, and we don't want to have every feature and benefit that's ever going to be here in the product right up the front of the sale. We want to have the front of the sale as light and smooth, and just to build the framework of what is the sale in terms of what is the product, okay, what are some of the benefits of it, and how do you utilize it. Okay, so for example, in this first step, if I'm teaching you about self-development, well, we got to understand a bit about, well, what is self-development? Self-development is the internal game. We have the internal and the external game. So what happens internal of my mind and body, and what happens external of my mind and body. Okay, so the way this usually goes is, it's in terms of knowledge and information and understanding, is we want to understand our psychology at a high level, but then we also want to understand how to do skills-based or technical-based or specialty-based things. For example, selling. Selling is an outer world skill or an outer game skill. Okay. So, for example, like sales doesn't help me sell myself on this, that, and the other. No, it doesn't do any of that. But if I need to do something externally, I can do that. Whereas on the internal, well, if I understand self-validation, I'm able to really work in here, but it doesn't really help me in the external world. Because I can't just go up to someone and say, you should buy from me because I know what I'm talking about. It doesn't translate like that. So we got to understand the interpersonal skills in terms of, what transfers to the external environment and what transfers to the internal environment, right? Because if we get those muddled up and mixed up, it just makes life confusing. And that's where we get people who are so money hungry that they'll do whatever it takes to make money for the sake of making money, because they think that it's going to give them something on the inside, rather than someone who's obsessed with the process or the product or the service that they do and giving value to their customers, and sort of they're not willing to sacrifice on their overarching vision for who they are and the business that they want to have, in terms of they're not going to sacrifice that for money. Because generally when that happens, the business goes down. So we got to understand a little bit about this, but this just gives you an understanding of how we utilize it. Okay, so the whole goal is in this first stage, we're just doing the framework. And then in the next stage, we start to lay out the framework and we start to fill it in. And we only fill it in about halfway. And then by the time we get to the end of the sale, the close, that's when we start to use all those facts, all those benefits, all that information that we've been saving that we haven't used to overcome the objections. Because there's no point me at the front end telling you everything about the product and then saying, would you want to buy it? And you say, I don't know. What am I going to do? Repeat the information? No, you should do it because of this. Oh, you told me that already. Or you should do it because you've already told me that. And then we just repeat. So what is the only lever that we have at the close if we use all our information at the front end of the sale? Well, discounts, price, and then what we add in, additional products, services, and offers. So we either give away all the information at the front and then are forced to either give away the value in terms of giving away free products and offers, or we have to lower the price. Whereas if we only build the framework of the features and benefits of the product and the offer at the front, and then we fill it in a little bit more in the second step, and then we fill it fully in the third step when we're in the close. Okay, I hope that makes sense, because it's important, because it gives us more levers to pull. Because in the close, if I have only told you about one of the benefits or features of the product, well, in the close, I could say, well, have you thought about this? Or have you thought about this? And then what it's able to do is I didn't think about it like that. I didn't see that benefit. Okay, so we want to limit the amount of over presenting we do at the start, so that we've got a presentation on the back end. All right, I hope this helps, and I'll see you on the next lesson. All right, have a great day. Bye.